All right, so let's make the breadcrumbs for our raviolis today. I have a piece of Italian bread. We got a little bit of butter melting over here. I'll put that right there for now. Want to just do some evenly shaped cubes for this so they dry out the same amount of time. And people think croutons are a tricky one to make, but they're not too bad to make at home. Cut them to be all the right size. You can use, if you do them at home, you can use the bread you want to use, so you're already starting with a better bread than what's in the pre-made bag. Don't be shy on the butter, it's going to drink all that butter up. I like to put a nice sprinkle of salt, a little bit of pepper, some of the garlic powder, and a little more. And a little bit of onion powder. And I'm telling you, these are going to be the best croutons you could ever have for your salads. Or what I'm going to use them for, I'm going to crush them down after they're dried up, and I'm going to use them as breadcrumbs in my filling for my raviolis today. So, like I said, we'll give this a quick stir. You want your butter to coat all the little pieces of bread. We're going to stir until all that butter is soaked up from the bottom of our pan here. It's quickly disappearing. And then we're going to put them in an oven at about do about 275, depending if it's convection or not. You may want to go lower. The lower you go, just that window when they're going to be perfect is going to be bigger. But it's going to take a little while to get there, probably about 15 minutes. Check them every now and then. You don't want them to brown. You don't want them to burn either. There's nothing worse than doing all this work to make your own croutons and then leaving them in the oven and burning them. And too many cooks do that under my watch, that's for sure. Always use your timers. You can see we're pretty well coated here. You keep wanting to jump out. We got butter all around. Spread them out so they're flat on the bottom. You don't want them too clumped together because they'll take even longer to dry. Get them spaced out just a little bit. Alright, give one more little sprinkle of salt for good luck. Alright, so these are going to go in the oven at 275. And I'll put a 15-minute timer on those and we'll see how they are in 15 minutes. Alright, so let's make our filling for our braciole-olis. Key ingredient would be prosciutto. It's tough to get the Parma in, but this is the best I can get. The key with prosciutto is you want it sliced super, super thin. So you want to be able to, like they say, read the newspaper through it. So this is a pretty good one here. I've stacked these up. I'm just going to dice them up so I can get them evenly filled out through my filling. A little tough to cut, but super sharp knife. Take your time. Try not to put too much pressure. Let the knife do the work. But prosciutto, it's cured ham. A little bit on the salty side. But it's gonna melt pretty much in our filling and add the salinity that we are looking for in the dish. Almost done dicing. There. Alright, let's check our croutons as well. We're going to take these out. We're going to mash them up to get some breadcrumbs out of it. Nice those are, nice and dry. You can check them. You just take one and you pinch it. Or you can crush it and it turns to dust. And it's still a little stiff on that one, but more taste real quick. Those are done. We'll crush them in a minute, chop them up. Won't work that good. Now, traditionally, braciole, which I made last month, I used top round, sliced it, pounded it out, and then you put a layer of prosciutto, some seasoned breadcrumbs, some Parmesan cheese, and fresh parsley Roll them up, tie them up, sear them, and braise them. Well, I'm going to make it into a filling for a ravioli instead today. So I use some red wine braised short rib over here. So I'm going to shred this up. We're going to add our prosciutto. We're going to add our crumbs. We're going to add our cheese. Also going to add a little bit of mascarpone because I think it needs a little bit of something else as a binder. We'll give it that creamy richness that I really want to look for in my ravioli. But I'm looking for the Braciole flavor mostly. And inside of a ravioli, we'll make a really rich tomato sauce using some of the braising liquid from the short rib as well. So try to use everything we can. I'm going to have to chop this thing up. I want to shred a little easier than that. But so I'm going to chop it against the grain, and then it should be a little easier to break down. Looking for any chunks of fat to take out as well, or any bites that you don't really want to have. So I'm looking for the Braciole flavor inside of a ravioli instead of the tender Braciole little cutlets sliced and all that put on top of pasta. So try to think outside the box today, something different. Well, that's a little bit more like it. Now we're starting to. I want a little bit in every bite, so that's why we're going to chop everything up. Yeah, these short ribs are delicious as well. So when you have quality ingredients, you can't go wrong with whatever you're making. Yeah, chop this up. And like I said, we'll use the broth from this braising liquid here. We're going to add it to our tomato sauce and a little onion, some garlic, more red wine. We'll make a nice rich tomato sauce to go on top of these. And then the creaminess and the salty and the crumbs, all that together with cheese is going to really be, I think, a really good ravioli. Made me think of it when I was eating them last time. So now that's all I've been thinking about for about a month. And here we are, we're making it today. So we'll get our filling ready. We'll roll out some pasta dough after this. And then we'll get them filled in. Now I have my beef pretty well set. I'm going to add my prosciutto. Get this mixed up. I do like to cook with my hands a lot. Break it down a little bit more. Now I'm going to add some fresh parsley. So one of those key ingredients in this. I'm going to add a little extra garlic. There. I don't think I'm going to add any salt. I think we'll have enough salt between. We have some nice grounded Parmesan here. We won't be too shy on that either. And that mascarpone. Like I said, it's going to give us that little richness, the binder that's going to keep this all together. I think it'll be a great addition to this. Nice creamy, smooth cheese to add. It's tough to say having too much cheese is a problem. We'll do a little bit of pepper. And then we'll get to these. Could just throw them in a food processor, but just this way as well that I like to use. This also is going to thicken our filling, hold that together so you cut open that ravioli, it's not going to spill out. Nice crumbs. I'm going to save actually a few of these for my salad tonight at home. Leave that open just to crack, get that air out. But easy as that. Fresh breadcrumbs, and they're going to be better than anything from a jar or a can or on the shelf. that bagged or croutons that were made weeks ago. Like I said, you can choose the bread, do a focaccia, and even your sourdough or something like that for sure would be excellent in this. I'm going to need a bigger bowl. And my crumbs. We'll get them all in there. Yeah. All right. And you give this a nice stir. All incorporated. Need a bigger bowl. You know I had one hiding. Gloves, and we'll mix that by hand. Really want it nicely blended together, so it takes more than a spoon. There we go. That's better. I think I'm going to add a little mozzarella to this too. Really want to. I think it could use it. Wouldn't hurt to have it in there. Those crumbs are going to soak up a lot. Add a little broth to it too. Wouldn't hurt. Small handful of the diced mozzarella. And there's some of that braising liquid from that short rib. I think it'll just give us a little extra flavor. We do have those crumbs in there that'll soak up. I really want a nice punch of flavor when you bite into these, so that has to help. But there we go. Now we have something. Like I said, those crumbs are going to soak up a lot of this. But that looks pretty good right there. I'm pretty excited about this now. Ooh. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, that's very good. Pretty happy with that. So. I'll get it back in this bowl so you can see it. You remember, when we heat this up, that cheese is going to melt, so we're going to get a little bit of fluidity back to it. But yeah, this is going to make quite a few raviolis. It doesn't take much to make one. Maybe I'll make the bigger ones today just because of these. But great flavor, and like I said, that sauce is really going to just give it that extra punch it needs. So the filling is done. So time to move on to rolling our pasta and start making our raviolis next.